Masir Salawat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We'll begin our program shortly. You have seen every day is a progression being made in the downstairs hall. So alhamdulillah, we had a brother who had not only donated the member, but also built the member in a day's notice for us to do. And alhamdulillah, let's for him, let's hear a salawat for him, and also let's do let's read Surah Fatih for his loved ones as well. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And I'm getting another message text right now because they were supposed to be carpeting here, which is supposed to be before, but inshallah maybe tomorrow they'll be carpeting here as well, so we can actually have a situation where we're sitting on the floor and make it look more like a majlis. Okay, I don't want to delay any more longer because it's already 9 o'clock. Can I invite Brother Ali Nakvi to start the program with the Quran?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات.
Thank you. So tonight is the second night of Muharram, the second series, or second majalis of our series. So like we did in the previous nights, I'm going to ask, or before I make this announcement, but also if those of you who want to recite, either give either reach out to me, come to me, or you can also email info@Shah-E-Najaf.org. Let us know that you want to recite either some poetry in the beginning of the program, or do the tilawat of the Quran, and this way we can get you on the roster, right? I know there were plenty of other brothers who wanted to recite, so those of you guys who already reached out to me, you're already on there. I'll come to you and let you know what night those are. But for now, again, thank you again for attending the second session. Now, Brother Bilal Hafiz, to recite something for us. Thank you. Salawat. Allahumma.
Salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I would like to begin this commemoration of tonight's session of Muharram with another poem. Inshallah, this poem will do justice in expressing the sort of purpose of the mission of Karbala. From age to age, on virtue's age, shall live the deathless glory. His loss remain, the martyr's gain, his shame the martyr's glory. Till truth shall lie and honor die, and time itself be hoary. Arise, Hussein, arise, chief of the Prophet's seed. Fling broad thy banner to the skies, and come with utmost speed. Or ere the throne of the All-Wise, usurped by the foul Yazid. He's donned his armor bright, his father's sword girt on, the sword of Ali as the might of the destroyer's own. And he is off ere morning light, across the desert, wide and lone. Now Kufa, keep thy word, to the good cause be true. Yazid has sent a giant horde to march thy province through. the hirelings of his father's horde, who grace or mercy never knew. They bore his godlike head aloft, his mouth struck with their whips. O mouth that I have seen so oft, a team with angels' quips, and baby kisses warm and soft, pressed to the prophet's lips. O body, trampled, foul, disdained, which charmed the gazer's eye, the blood from out thy veins that drained was heaven's electuary. No horse's hooves were ever stained in so divine a dye. O barren plain of Karbala, with herb nor yet with sod, be clad eternally, for there, overwhelmed, downtrod, the holy son of Fatima gave up his soul to God. Salawat.
Thank you, Brother Bilal. Now, let's go ahead into the next session of the program. Brother, if you want to come a little closer, there's room in the front, because sometimes when they come in the back, it makes them a little bit difficult for the Maulana. I know it disturbs us as well. Yeah, I'll give you guys a few minutes, a few seconds. Let's begin again with the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you. Thank you, brothers. Now, I invite Maulana to the member to bless us again with your wisdom.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال حسين بن علي عليه السلام ماذا وجد من فقدك وما الذي فقد من وجدك صلوات. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to all the brothers and sisters who have came here for the second night of Muharram. And inshallah, like yesterday we started our discussion and we said that when we enter Muharram, it's like we're entering in the khayma, in the tent of Imam Hussein in Karbala. So we have to sit in front of Imam Hussein, you and me both, and ask him to give us something which is beneficial for us, right? So this is what the niyyah is, and inshallah we'll keep our intention clean and pure, so we won't have to, show off or do things like that, or be worried about that what's gonna happen. All the worries and all those things can be solved here. With this yaqeen in our hearts, we come to these majalis, that when we ask Hussein ibn Ali to take our hand and help us out in our regular life and in our religious life. And when I make this distinction, you should be able to say, Maulana, this is the wrong distinction. We're Muslims, our life should be a religious life, right? So that distinction was made intentionally. And that thing is actually related to my topic. So I've been told that I have scared all of you brothers and sisters that the topic is really difficult, but alhamdulillah you came back. So inshallah we are gonna go on with the topic. So please recite salawat. So I actually kind of promised all of you yesterday that I'm gonna give the introduction to the topic as well, which I was not able to do it. And we just talked about the adab and how to, feel and how to commemorate Muharram. So if you have seen the flyer or if you have heard the topic is finding oneself through the lens of Karbala. So when we say finding, so it means that we have lost something, right? If I ask you to find your glasses, brother, you say, it's right there. Unless you are, forgetful like me, that you have glasses on and you are looking for the glasses. You find something which you're lost. So have we lost ourselves? That's what I'm trying to say here? Maybe. Through the lens of Karbala does it mean that there's a small portion, this small aspect of myself which is related to Karbala and I want to find that aspect of myself? No. I have to, through the lens of Karbala means that I have to find my real self through the teachings of Karbala. So this is kind of a translation or the description of the topic is. So now when I give the description, do you think that it's really difficult? Well, it depends. What kind of a discussion we're going to have here. This discussion is actually known as Insan Shanasi in Farsi and Urdu, right? Like you need to know what insan is, what human beings are. The problem with the translation is this, that the insan is the word of Quran. So the Quranic words or Arabic words, they have the literal meaning and then they have the other meaning. The literal meaning could be translated into one word, but the descriptive meaning or istilahi meaning has to be described. So that's why I'm going to use insan here when we talk about this, when we discuss about this finding ourselves. But when I say insan, inshallah, all of you know that much Urdu that insan means human beings here. So is this topic different than khud shanasi, knowing yourself, like oneself? Is insan shanasi different than khud shanasi? Yes, it is. And how is it different? In khud shanasi, the view is a little bit objective. The khud, or self-recognition, gives the objective view of understanding something, rather than, the subjective view of understanding something. So when I say khud shanasi, I'm kind of focusing only on myself, on one subject. So that's a subjective discussion. But insan shanasi is an objective discussion. And that is kind of really important here as well, because in this modern day, after modernization and post-modernization and all those theories, the philosophical theories of post-modernization, we have been indulged and actually drowned in ourselves. We see religion, we see everything subjective rather than objective. We see them, the subjective view rather than the objective view of that. We have started believing that everything, including religion, is a subject matter. It's related to one person, and it could be different to person, and it's all allowed, which give rise to what? Pluralism. It became a big class of Hausa here right now, so I'm not gonna go there. Please just say salawat. So this is kind of a theme what we are gonna try to, go and understand. Because when I went, I didn't go for tabligh for a long time. I just started like a few years ago. But wherever I went, I got some similar kind of questions and worries from the community. Like, Maulana, youth ke liye kuch kare. MashaAllah, now I got the opportunity that everybody who is sitting in front of me is youth. So I probably have to go to those uncles and say, Aap youth ke liye kuch kare. Because you guys are, mashallah, doing something for yourself. That's why you're here. But as youth who are born in this part of the world, and we went to school. I didn't go to school here, but I can see that what kind of a philosophy, what kind of a worldview they have here. Because that's what we do in Hausa. My specialization is not a specialization, I'm doing a master's in philosophy. And the philosophy, we have a subject of comparative philosophy as well, you know. So the problem with the philosophy is this: when you say philosophy, actually I said it to someone and they said like in Urdu ke ye log ye na kahen ki kya Maulana falsafa bhagar rahe hain. So with the philosophy we came the bagarna of falsafa. Bagarna means like making up things for my younger brothers. Philosophy is not that, brothers and sisters. We need to know what philosophy is. We shouldn't hate anything which we don't know about, right? So the philosophy is actually the subject or learning of haqiqah. And philosophy, the matter which you study, which you analyze, is to get to haqiqah of something, to the essence of something, to the lub of something. So if I say it's a philosophical discussion here, please don't get scared. Please come back again. And we'll try to see the philosophical aspect of insan shanasi, like knowing oneself. Which philosophy? Islamic philosophy. What's the difference between regular philosophy and Islamic philosophy? We'll discuss it in our coming majalis. Please recite salawat. But today is actually another tamheed, or you will say the prelogue of our new our discussion. I want to start it from like kind of some historical facts, so we'll know and we relate ourselves, our modern day, to the day of Imam Hussein and the day of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Please recite salawat. Because when we see that Islam has to come and it has to be the last religion, and it has to be the religion which will give the final message to the human beings, so they will become insan kamil, or will be beneficial for them or sufficient for them to become real insan, then we need to know in what society Islam came, right? And then what happened to that society, that within 60 years, people brutally killed not only one grandson of Prophet Muhammad, but almost the remaining family of the Prophet of that same deen, same Islam. And people were doing it. That's actually a really, astonishing thing, that people were doing it for qurbatan ilallah. And Ashura, if my youngsters didn't know that Yazidi forces were asking people to cut Imam Hussein's head quickly so their asr wouldn't get qaza. So there must be something missing, right? That the religious people were killing the grandson of Prophet, who claimed not to be just a family of Prophet, but the wali and the imam of the ummah. A person who is supposed to lead the Muslim ummah was brutally killed with the niyyah that I'll get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These things should raise a lot of questions in our mind. If it didn't come in our mind, inshallah, if it's coming right now, that's fine. If it came and we didn't answer these questions, then our Islam and our Shia Islam is kind of, hanging with a really, really weak thread. Anybody can come and just, pluck us away from our beliefs, especially our youth. They can just take them away easily. I'm not talking about the Ahl Sunnah. All the Ahl Sunnah are our brothers. They are like close to us, just like brothers. And it's not because I have to be politically correct here. No, they are our brothers. But there are few people who want to do fitna and take the Ahl Sunnah stance and try to, misguide us. On the other hand, we have non-Muslims who are trying to preach us, or giving us some questions that we question Islam in the way that apparently we are not able to find the answers. And when you don't find the answers, what you do? You drop Islam right like this. So we have these problems, we have these challenges which we are facing. I wouldn't divide our communities into youth or non-youth. If any uncle, don't tell to all the uncles there. I'm not saying anything against them, but probably they are not able to understand this. Not knowing my aqaid is not my youth's problem. It's my problem first of all. I came from Pakistan, I came from Iran, Iraq, where the majority were Muslims. I didn't have these questions. Even if I had questions like this, they were shut down, or I said, okay, you know what, everybody's Muslim, I'm gonna be Muslim, that's fine. It's gonna work there. But here it's not gonna work. Even for uncles like me, I'm an uncle too, right? After 40 years, I have to be uncle. I'm an immigrant too. So these questions are not confined to our youth, brothers and sisters. It is a collective question which is targeted to all of us who are sitting here, who are going to Hawza, who wants to go to Hawza inshallah soon. We have to sit down and talk about it. That's why I chose this kind of a difficult topic, that what is the essence of human? What is the essence of insan? Because like I was giving you this story that whenever I went to these tabligh tours or majalis, when I came back and I talked to my other brothers in Hawza, we came to this point that we have to start working on our roots. Usul ad-Din, right? And not usul ad-Din like this, that Tawheed yani Allah ek. Nabuwat yani, there are a bunch of people who were Nabi, they brought something, they told us, do this, eat this, don't eat this, and that's it. No. The real way, again, if I use that term, please don't get scared. The philosophical way. The aqli way. With burhan, with dalil, with explanation in our minds. So I thought that, okay, I should start from Tawheed and Nabuwa and Imama and Qiyamah and all those things. And alhamdulillah, we have a lot of mabahith, a lot of things said, a lot of books been written about these, our aqaid. We believe in one God. Why don't we believe in three gods like Christians? We have dalil for that. Why don't we believe in multiple gods like mushrikeen or Hindus? We have dalil for that. But these are all ilmi things. On akhlaqi level, on the practical level, please say salawat. On the practical level, they have mabahis as well, that how do you have to practice tawheed in your life? I don't know if we have been told from the member like this or in any class, or we have read the book like this, but we have books like this. We have explanation and description and dalil and the proofs of having a tawheedi lifestyle as compared to having not a tawheedi lifestyle. Because ulama have done a lot of things like this. But when I thought about this, I thought that before we talk about tawheed and nabuwat and imama, we have to talk about insan. And then, because there's a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which says, "Man arafa nafsahu, arafa rabbuhu." What does it mean? Everybody knows that, right? Arafa means to know. Anybody who knows his nafs, himself, knows his Rabb. Now, Why is it important? Because, and how is it related to Karbala? What's the lens of Karbala here? Because if I don't know my nafs and if I don't know my Rabb, all these stories of Karbala, I'm saying something, fasten your seatbelts, brace yourself, will look just like stories, will look like fairy tales, will look like, I don't know why Imam Hussein did that. Why did he have to bring us 6 months old on a battlefield? What if he would just say, okay, I'm accepting you as Khalifa, and save himself from killed brutally? We have to have answers for these questions, because if we don't have answer for these questions, we won't be able to understand Karbala. And the ma'rifat of Karbala would be nothing but a storytelling, a story listening, mourning, and to some extent just, I have ihsasi, just a sensitive approach and link to Karbala, that's it. Just like, again, mashallah, you are youth, right? So you can take this. Maybe uncles cannot. Just like if I feel sorry for a poor person who died on the corner of a street, I'll put Imam Hussein to that level. If I don't have the ma'rifat of my nafs and ma'rifat of my Rabb and then ma'rifat of Imam Hussein. Because if I know my Rabb, I would know why Imam Hussein did that. So see how far we have came back. Like we were supposed to talk about Rabb, or we were supposed to talk about Imam Hussein, or we are talking about Rabb. That this person on 61st century of Hijrah, the grandson of Prophet, did that sacrifice for a reason. Why? Because he believed that there should be a Tawhidi system in the world. And when people didn't listen to him and people wanted to kill him brutally, he was ready for that. So now Imam Hussein is there, but I need to know, why is Imam Hussein doing that? So this Rabb, this Allah, this Tawheed, this Tawheedi system has to be really important for me, right? How would I know Tawheed? How would I know Ma'rifat of Allah? How would I know who is my creator? I have this question, probably I believe I was 5 or 6 years old, and I still remember that I was in an empty road, waiting for a bus with my father, looking at the sky. I was circling too, and thinking and asking him that, where did the sky come from? Where did I come from? A 4, 5, 6 years old. And I believe all of you, brothers and sisters, have thought in this way. I don't know about after Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, probably the human physiology and psychology has changed a lot. Psychology has changed definitely, but probably it's changing our physiology as well. But inshallah, I believe that this fitrah of Allah is created by Allah, and these kind of questions come in our mind from our childhood. And it has been put in our fitrah for a reason. This thirst has to be quenched so we can reach somewhere. So when you have questions like this, that what is this, who created me, who am I, where I came from, why I was created, why I was put in this earth. These are genuine questions. On the dark and the murky side of these questions are this, that I remember I went for a tabligh and we were sitting with youth, and the brother was really serious about this. And he said, like, Maulana, why Allah Ta'ala created me? I started, this. No, why did you create me? I didn't want to get created. I said, all the dalal, because you were born for heaven and this and that. I said, He said, I don't want heaven, I don't want hell, I don't want anything. I wanted annihilation. He wanted, in real world, he wanted fana. He preferred non-existence over existence. Why? Because it goes back to the same question. We have not answered this question, that why do we exist? And what form and shape a human exists? What is human actually? So that's why this is a really good question, and inshallah we'll try to answer it or discuss about it. Please recite a salawat. Please recite a salawat. Just to give a preview of, I wouldn't say prerequisite, but the prologue kind of thing. So we would know, we would understand our discussion, in a different way. I would say that what was the condition of Arabia before Rasulullah, before the Ba'athat of Rasulullah. So everybody knows this historical fact that the Rasulullah's lineage is Bani Hashim, and he was the grandson of who? Hazrat Ismail, who was the son of Hazrat Ibrahim. So Hazrat Ibrahim had two sons, one was Ishaq, one was Ismail. Ismail went to Arabia with Hazrat Hajar or Hajara. And you know that when I believe that you have learned in Sunday school that he left them there and there was nothing there. And then Hazrat Ismail was crying because of thirst. And then this Zamzam came out and people started coming there. And when he grew up a little bit, probably like in his teenage, Hazrat Ismail built a house in Makkah or Baqar. Now this building of house is not true. It was kind of a reconstruction of the same house which was built before Hazrat Adam. So Makkah is the first place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala built a house. Please recite salawat. Thank you. And if you go to Hazrat Ibrahim's story, Hazrat Ibrahim was a one-man ummah. That's what the Quran says, right? He all alone, single-handedly said to those who were worshipping different gods that you are wrong. It was in Madain. Madain was in Iraq. And to Namrud he said, whatever you guys are doing is wrong. There's only one God. And single-handedly he did a lot of things. That's why Allah Ta'ala called him an ummah. So why am I telling this historical facts? Is to tell you that the first person who was born or who was a human being was Hazrat Adam, and he was muwahhid. He was sent down to a place called Makkah where the Kaaba is. That's the house of Allah. That's the symbol of Wahdaniyah. Kaaba is the symbol of Wahid, that we believe in one God. How is it so? I don't want to go into details of that. But the same Kaaba, just before Rasulullah was born, not just before, like few years before, probably few generations before his birth, was changed into a polytheist society. Now the same building which was built for Wahdaniyat of Allah, where Hazrat Ibrahim was asked by Allah to call people to come to this house, so they put a stamp that they believe in one God, changed into the place where they put like multiple gods. Not only outside the Kaaba, but inside the Kaaba as well. So that was the condition of pre-Rasulullah Arabia. And then I'll just read something from Nahj al-Balagha. When they were polytheists, What was their society? Their society, how was their society? So just few things from the khutbah. I don't know the number of the khutbah, but if you ask me, inshallah, I'll send it to you. So Imam says, Allah was being disobeyed. He's talking about the Meccan society before Rasulullah. Allah was being disobeyed. Satan was given support and belief had been forsaken. As a result, the pillars of religion fell down. Its traces could not be discerned. Its passages had been destroyed, and its streets had fallen into decay. It looks like Imam was talking about a place which was bombarded, right? No streets, everything is in decay. But Imam is talking about the spiritual decay here. The Kaaba, which was made for Wahdaniyah, has changed into polytheism. There's no Allah in those streets. The Satan was there. People obeyed Satan and treated his paths. They sought water from his watering places. These are, again, there are so many istihalahat and imtisalat. Imtisalat means like, I don't know if you call it idioms in English, like you just give a sentence which means something else, right? Or have a deeper meaning. So when Imam is saying that people were drinking from the watering places of Satan, what does it mean? That he was the provider for them. Now, just coming back to Satan. So Satan is Iblis, right? But Shaitan is not Iblis. Shaitan is anybody, a jinn, a human being, could be a shaitan. Iblis was this one person, one specific jinn who disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His name is Iblis. But shaitans are there, multiple, there are so many shaitan in this world right now. We're living in shaitan and buzurg right now. So, there are systems, there are people who are shaitan here. Iblis was only one. So when Imam is saying that they were drinking from the watering place of shaitan, that those people who were governing those streets, they destroyed them spiritually, and then they were providing it. They were providing, sustenance to that society, the physical sustenance. So if you brothers and sisters come to me and say, Maulana, what are you talking about? See, we live in a great society, the roads are so good, the buildings are so awesome. That's fine. That's a system, a satanic system. It's a system. Then you come and say, Maulana, aap Pakistan se aaye, Pakistan mein sab haba. You are comparing a system to a chaos. Pakistan is a chaos. It's not a system. So if you compare a system to a system, then we compare to, I'm not talking only about America, don't get angry at me or, like this. The system which is, any system which is challenging the Islamic system, the Tawhidi system. Any system which is challenging Islamic or Tawhidi system, we call it a Taghuti system. So any Taghuti system would be a system, but you would be fed by shaitan there. Our minds and our souls are bombarded by theories and philosophical, intellectual theories, which are actually forged by shaitan. That's why Nahjul Balagha is that important, brothers and sisters. But you'll say, Maulana, you're talking about pre-Rasulullah Arabia. What it has to do with us. Inshallah, when we talk about humanism and human values and human in Islam, what human is, we'll know this. Then Imam says, the vices stood on their toes in full stature, and the people immersed in them were straight, perplexed, ignorant, and seduced as though in a good house with bad neighbors. Just pay attention to all these words, Imam said. Perplexed. What else? Ignorant. Seduced. Is it reminding you something else? Or I'm just talking about pre-Rasulullah Arabia. Aren't we perplexed here? I was talking to brother coming back here that, well, we have kids here too, but inshallah. It's allowed in this society to feel that you are a boy in the morning and a girl at night. They call it gender fluid. I'm a fluid. What are you talking about? I don't have to be politically correct here, do I? Do I? No? Inshallah. Please recite salawat. With the strongest force, we say is perplexion. This is perplexed. These people are confused. They don't know where they are going. A person doesn't know if he is a man or a woman. What kind of a society is it going to form? Or she is going to form? I don't know. Well, it's going to form. How many pronouns they have now? So that's the reason I'm reading this. I'll finish this and inshallah we'll go on with our discussion. They were in a land where the learned were in brittle, keeping their mouth shut, while the ignorant were honored, making their TikToks and YouTube videos. The learned had to be staying on the side and keeping their mouth shut. And the ignorant were what? Were honored. We're saying, okay, yeah, you can post anything about anything you like, any religion you like, anything you say that Islam says that and I believe in that. And you're allowed to do that. And we believe in that. And we listen to it. Because the presentation is really good. Because the camera is 4K. When we are living, why am I saying these things? Because our imams are living imams, brothers and sisters. These problems were at that time, and when is he saying these things? Imam Ali saying these things when he got his khilafah in front of Kufans. And then probably in the same khutbah or somewhere else, he said that today you are just like that. We're talking about the mushrikeen of Makkah, and Imam is saying that those people who are sitting in front of me in the masjid of Kufa after namaz, you are just like that. So we need to know what happened. We need to know what happened to these people who were, burying their children alive, the girls alive, accepted Islam, became like shining star. And after 30, 35 years, Imam is saying the same things your forefathers were doing, you are doing the same things here. In the name of Islam. In the cloak of Islam. And that's why Imam Hussein had to come out and say something which we are going to discuss tomorrow. Please recite salawat. So I've been asked to read the Masa'ib of Imam coming to Karbala. It is a really, unfortunate thing, I would say, that we have to know Karbala only in the Masa'ib form. It's a fortunate way that we have these things, at least in this form, but we have never studied it. And inshallah, that's why, not in this majalis, I don't know how much time I would have to know and tell the societal problems at the time of Imam Hussein. But we need to discuss those things like that what happened to the Muslim Ummah, that Imam had to come out from Medina. He wrote letters. He asked his own family, Bani Hashim, not the immediate family, Bani Hashim to come with him. They didn't go with him. He came out of Makkah. There were so many people with him. And when they heard that Muslim got Shaheed, they just left. They flew away from Imam. But in the Masa'ib, we have learned, and we should learn, and we should do Masa'ib the way it has been done. Because, like I said before in my last majlis, that our relationship to Imam Hussein is not on the intellectual level. It's not only aqli, it's not only with aqli proofs, intellectual proofs. Our relationship with him is spiritual, is heart-to-heart relationship. There's no doubt, brothers and sisters, that when ulama say, because I've heard it from ulama, I've heard this from Zakirin as well. I was not believing, myself was not believing in that. Then I heard it from ulama, that in these majalis are formed by Imam. In these majalis, Bibi Sayyida come. When the ulama say that, I have to believe in that. So Imam left for Kufa from Mecca, and people one by one and actually in groups left him, especially when they heard that what happened to Muslim. He got close to Kufa, and close to Kufa his companions saw there was an oasis. So they do, takbir, that they didn't have that much water. They got to oasis and they'll fill their water or rest there. But Imam said, no, this is not oasis. What was it? It was the spears of the commander of Yazidi force, named Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. And Hur was told by Ibn Ziyad to take Imam anywhere but not to Kufa. Because if Imam would reach to Kufa, there will be an inqilab there. So he diverted Imam towards Karbala. Well, he didn't diverted him there, but he was just stopping him to get into Kufa till the companions of Imam and Imam reached to a place where his horse stopped walking. And Imam said, why is it not walking? He changed the horses. They said, like in Riwayah, that he changed 7 horses, but none of them were ready to move from that piece of land. So Imam asked that if there's any locals, please come here and tell me what the name of this place is. So few people came. One person said, the name of this place is Taf. The other one said, it's Nainawa. But then they brought a really old person, and he said, Imam, this land is called Karbala. And when Imam heard that, he said, yeah, we're going to pitch our tents here, and we're going to keep pitching our tents here till the time of Akhirah. But brothers and sisters, you know why we have the connection, the heart-to-heart connection to Imam? Because when he was pitching his tent, he remembered all of you. He was talking to Bani Asad and said, after we are going to be slaughtered and died and have our graves here, my Zaireen, my visitors are going to come. Make them your guests for 3 days on my behalf. Brothers and sisters, Imam bought the land of Karbala for you. You go to Arbain, and when you see that they are just sitting on your feet so you can eat from them, these Iraqi Shias, it's Imam Hussein who's giving you food and water there. Why wouldn't we have heart-to-heart connection to Imam Hussein? Then Imam asked Bani Asad that, I'm staying here. That was the afternoon time of 2nd of Muharram, which is tomorrow. He said to Bani Asad people, the men that will be killed brutally in this land, and these ashqiya are not gonna dig any grave. I don't know if Imam told them the details. That not only they are not going to dig any grave, but they are going to trample my body as well. But Imam asked them that after they leave, please come and bury us. But then Imam asked them to bring your women. Said, I know the way they will kill me would be so brutal that you probably be not able to come and bury us. Please tell your women if they can come and bury us, we'll be thankful to them. And Imam didn't stop after that. He asked the children of Bani Asad. He said, if your mothers would be scared of coming out, you just come playing there and bring some sand in your small hands and put it on our body so we'll be buried. فَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلِبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ ماتم حسین.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's read dua Imam Azan together and we'll go upstairs for Matam. Okay? Together this time. Allahumma kulli waliyaka al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka wa alayhi wa ala abai fi hadhihi as-sa'a wa fi kulli sa'a وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا وذليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتيه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.